In this video, we will learn how to get your first AI agency client in 7 days. I have done this not once but twice. What do I mean by that? If you look at my YouTube channel, my oldest videos, I have been running my AI agency for over 14 months now. And this is the first chatbot that I have built for someone I know. So it's a warm outreach. And the second time I did this, me getting a client in 7 days is for a challenge, $1 million AI automation agency challenge that I did exactly 1 year ago, August 2nd, 2023. I got my first call and I was able to close someone within 7 days. So I did a crazy outreach where I would build a ton of chatbots. It turned out to be a disaster, but I did get a client out of it. The reason I am showing you this is a lot has changed in the past 12 months. Ever since I did that challenge, I learned a lot of things. And this video is basically showing everything that I have learned in the past 1 year and really mapping everything in a board where you can see the treasure that we have right here. Getting that first client, first meeting, case study, going from an AI enthusiast to an AI agency owner and making your first $1,000 or $10,000 and finally getting that win, getting that first client. And I want this tutorial to be a bit different than what you usually see for an agency, because there are a lot of challenges people conveniently ignore. For example, most of the people that are doing this don't have any money, don't have experience, they don't have testimonials. They are struggling with self-doubt, whether I can fulfill this, whether I can do that. What if a business owner asks me about, okay, what do you know? What have you built? So all of these questions, we need to overcome that imposter syndrome, that self-doubt. Too many rejections. People will not get back to you. People will ghost you after you have delivered some work. All of this, I've been through that. And people doesn't show up to the calls. You expect for them to show up, sit there. 20 minutes go by, 30 minutes go by, they don't show up. And you don't have any leverage, especially when you're starting out. These are the anchors that weigh us down. But there are wins that move us forward. In this video, I will address all of these issues, how you should overcome each of those anchors. And there are sharks up ahead ready to bite us. What do I mean by that? Even when we prepare a lot, there are things that are out of our control, but we have to be prepared. For example, how many of you who are starting think about what happens after the call? How do you onboard someone? What is the client journey flow? What are you doing on week 1, week 2, week 3? What are you doing to offboard a client or upsell a client? Most people don't really care. All they care about is getting that first client. But do you have a payment processor ready to accept payment if you manage to close a deal? So there are things that you need to consider or pay attention to before you actually sign that client. And these are the stars that light our way. I mean, I have some excellent resources here that have helped me tremendously. For example, if you look at the leads CRM that I have been using, I'm calling it AI Agency CRM. All of this is linked. This is the leads section where you have every lead that is coming in that is interested in your products, where you can list all the products that you have in here and their price also. And whenever someone expresses interest, you can basically tag them with the interested product. You can Okay, what is the first? Okay, this is, I need to copy the base. Let me open the base that I already have. I don't want to copy it. Let me see. Okay, if you do get access to the link, you need to copy the base before moving forward. But I already have an AI agency CRM on my account, so I won't be doing that. Okay, new cold, new warm, first message sent, second email, second message sent, third email, third message sent, tried demo, interested, schedule a meeting. The reason I have all of these are I don't really manually go in and write these messages down. Whenever someone is interested, someone has interacted with my content, I would just select, let's say, new cold, and that would trigger an automation where we would send out an email and update the status from cold to first message sent. So that's how I would do things. I would see if they have replied. This is something that I advise my people that I work on one-on-one consulting with, or someone that is really new. For me, we already have Go High Level. All of these systems are connected to ConvertKit, and we manage email differently. But someone who is new, someone who doesn't have many paid plans, like CRMs like Go High Level, using make.com, Airtable, and apps like Vapi, Google Forms, the basic ones, you can do some excellent things, which I'm going to demonstrate to you in this video. And again, sales activities, whenever you need to schedule a call with someone, whenever someone asks for a demo, you track all of that. You track the lead, you follow up the lead, all the good stuff. You have the tasks, and that is the AI agency CRM. That's one resource only, and we have all these tools that I will walk you through step by step on how I would build my lead list and what are all the messages that I would send. For example, if they are a warm contact, how would I do things differently? This is the message that I would send if I know the person, or if I don't know them personally, if I am finding them on LinkedIn or any other app. This is the kind of 3 message cold email approach that I would take. So this is not the exact message that I would use. I don't want to give that out, but as an inspiration, something you can go off of. So how does this tutorial go? As you might have already realized, it's a bit long. So this is definitely a journey across the midnight seas, so that together we sail our boat towards our goals by correcting wrong turns and avoiding dangers up ahead. So I want this to be, I wanted to share the lessons that I have learned over the past 14 months, and to do this as soon as humanly possible. For example, if you do this right, you can get a client in 3 days. And that's what I've realized and learned for the past 14 months. I did manage to get a client in less than a week, both times, but it was a ton of work and I did a lot of mistakes. If I know what I know now, things would have been really different. And even the first client that I got, I only charged him $1,000. And the second time I did this, the cold one, the warm one, they paid me once I built the product, once it saved them some money, only then I was paid $1,000. But the second time during the challenge, I was paid $1,500. So as you can see, now there are voice agents. You could easily charge anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 for a really good voice assistant on Vapi. So that's where we start. Day one is all about setup. We get the prototype ready, whether it's chatbot, AI voice assistant, or workflow automation, and we set up the lead CRM. It doesn't have to be all of these tabs combined: sales, activities, product and services. This is good to have, but not mandatory. This is the only thing that you'd need: the lead name, the status, email, phone number, their URL. You don't even need source and URL, maybe interested products, and that's not important too. If you are building this from scratch, I would just have tabs like the lead name, the status, email, phone number, and the other fields would be last modified. I will show you why you need that, and recording URL, summary, and transcript. This is for the voice agent that we are going to build. So this is how this video is going to go. We will set up the lead CRM. We will compile a list of warm prospects from your contacts, email, and social media. We will write a sequence. It is an informal message basically, and set up the payment process. That's for day one. And after that, next 6 days would be reaching out to at least 50 people every day. I did try to reach out to 100 people every day. It kind of gotten overwhelmed, especially when we are beginning. And 20 to 25, it took me, or people that I advise, too long if they are reaching out to only 10 to 20 people. So 50 seems to be a sweet spot if you are really motivated to hit that goal of getting your first client in 7 days. I strongly advise that you reach out to at least 50 people each day. And that's not enough. 50 people and 50 leads plus 50 follow-up from day 2. So you are reaching out to 50 new people and you're following up with at least 50 older ones. And like I said, we will use automations for this. You don't have to do stuff manually unless they have replied to you. You need to spend some time. The first message, that's always great. But the ones that haven't responded to your messages, we will send them a generic message. So booked meeting, once you booked a call, have an audit checklist to identify pain points, gaps, and find synergies. This is really important. If you haven't watched my previous video, my latest video, I walked through how I closed a $132,000 deal for my AI agency and how I identify these gaps, what infrastructures to offer my client through an AI audit checklist. So it's a great resource to have. I mean, especially the questions that you need to ask a client during a discovery call or a AI audit, AI consult, growth consult, whatever you want to call it. And I will then use prompts or AI chatbots to come up with a great offer that I can fulfill fast. Meaning I will already have a template that is ready to go out, 70 to 80% already productized. It's just plugging in the client's details and client's tech stack and it's good to go. That approach allowed me to outprice my competition. For example, if the prospect were to do all the stuff that I am offering, others would charge him $20,000, $30,000. But since I already have all of these templates, I was only charging him $10,000 or $15,000, which greatly motivated them to take action. Not once I managed to upsell a client to $132,000 deal with 20% profit share. So it's definitely in that 7-figure range potentially. So you get the idea. I will then use the offer or the deliverables that I able to prepare for this client during the discovery call. I would then make a Loom video explaining and breaking down, okay, this onboarding automation will save you 1 hour per each client, and this voice assistant right now is able to answer any question that your prospect might have 24 hours a day, and this chatbot can reduce your customer service tickets by 70 to 80%. If I will clearly show them what value they would be getting if they implement one of these services. So okay, I don't want to discuss everything here, but you have to look at the timestamps that are available right now. The first part of the video is me actually breaking down an app, or me showing you how to build a Vapi assistant. This is a dynamic Vapi assistant. When someone completes when someone completes a type form, when they submit this form, a call would go out to their phone number based on the data that they have entered in the form here. And once they finish this call, once we send this request, we are also creating a record in an Airtable. We are capturing their name, their phone number, email, all of that stuff, and we are saving that to our lead CRM. Once the call is done, we will do bunch of AI stuff, and we will update the Airtable record with transcript, summary, recording URL, all that stuff. We can email them the summary and how the interaction went. We can even include our booking link so that once they talk to the AI, they can maybe leave us feedback, yay, or if they really like the product and think, okay, this makes sense for us to implement this in our business, they can book a call with us. So email is always a good thing to have in this flow. But when I initially wanted to make a type form flow, the challenge was, how I was talking about, not many people are able to spend. I didn't want to include something they only take 10 responses for, they only provide 10 responses for free, and then they will ask you to upgrade. So I wanted to do something that's free. So that's why I was using the Google form instead of type form. So this is what I'm going to build on Vapi. When a user submits a Google form, we will place a call using a Vapi dynamic or a transient assistant, which would be using information that is captured in the form, and we will update the lead CRM with the contact details, the first name, last name, the email, phone number. Once the call is done, we will generate an end of the call report, and we will extract the transcript. We will capture the summary and the recording URL within the lead CRM. So that is the flow. If you do want to build that automation with me, you can watch that part of the video for sure. But if you already have a prototype ready that you want to share, or if you already have a chatbot that you can share, skip that part and go to the part that makes sense, where we actually do the outreach. This is going to be a long video, so I suggest you follow the timestamps. Now, if you want to get started as soon as possible, one place to go is if you go to my YouTube channel here and look at this Voiceflow video, you will get free templates from my school. If you go to my free school, and in the community, if you go to YouTube resources, you will see AI concierge for hotel, customer service chatbot, e-commerce chatbot, real estate chatbot. These are 4 really good templates. If you do want to use it in your campaigns for demo, you can repurpose this, add in your own stuff, and then start this process. If you still want to build a prototype on Vapi, if you want to build a dynamic assistant, follow through. Now, for this tutorial, we will use Vapi. In Vapi, if you don't have an account, create one. I already do, so I'd be logging in. Since this is a transient assistant or a dynamic assistant, we should be working with their API documentation. If you are completely new to Vapi, I would suggest you watch other videos that will explain the basics. I am currently in process of finishing up a really long tutorial, a 4-hour long tutorial on Vapi. When it's ready, you can watch that, but I won't be talking about static assistants. It's so easy to create one. You can just come here and create an assistant. It can be appointment setter, customer support, inbound Q&A, game NPC. So if you create an assistant and you are done, you can have a conversation with Ava. You can even link a phone number. For example, you can select Ava as an outbound form and enter a number to call. Or for inbound assistant, when you buy a number, you can link it with the assistant that you just created. So there are all kinds of stuff you can do from the front end itself. I will cover the basics in a future dedicated video. When I say future, it's only 3 to 4 days away, so look out for that. So if you want to make a transient or a dynamic assistant, click on this button and go to API documentation. So this is the create call, and you need to build this HTTP request. So before we do that, all the transient assistant need to be built on make.com like I just showed you. It has nothing to do with the front end, but we can still have the voice ID, or there are stuff we can still use from the front end, from the UI. I don't want to confuse you at this point. My other tutorial will cover that in depth. This is what you would see when you log into make.com. I will provide the link below. You can create scenario. If you are for example downloading this make.com JSON blueprints from my school, you can just go in here and click this button and import blueprint, and you can select that blueprint. But if you are building with me from scratch, this is how you do it. So you go to Google Forms, you select a Google form, okay, you watch a responses. So this is a trigger, what we call a trigger. So for trigger, we are watching the responses in the form that the form received. So I already connected my Google account. If you haven't, you need to add, and it is just simple login. So for the form ID, you need to go to the Google Forms. So you create a blank form, and this form you can say something along the lines of please enter your first name. This would be a required question and a short answer, and you will add a new question, please enter your last name. You will add a title to this form, and this is how you change the form, colors, branding, and you can choose a header. And once you do all of that fun stuff, you need the URL for this part. You see how the URL shows docs.google.com forms 1FUHQ, this stuff, you need to copy this. After D slash, you copy this, copy, and you go to make.com and you paste the form ID. For me, I am using a different form that I have built for this purpose specifically. That is try voice AI. This is the cover that I have added. It would say try our revolutionary voice AI, and I don't have a description. Please enter your first name, please enter your last name, phone number with area code, email address, how did you hear about us, and social URL. This is optional. You can use this, so you can say by entering the info you are consenting to receive a phone call or something along those lines, just so you are not spamming people and they are agreeing that you would have your AI call them. So I just copied the URL also for this, and I basically pasted that in my integration here. Command V. Okay, from now on. So let me run this module. So it's a success. Scenario run was completed. If there is some kind of error in your form, it would show up, it wouldn't run. So for the next part is where we build the actual HTTP request, make a request, and this is where we build our dynamic assistant, and that's what we were building in here. So like I was showing you earlier, when you are in the Vapi dashboard, you need to click here and go to API documentation, and that will open these this interface, and you need to be working with this create call. This is not an in-depth tutorial like I was telling you, so if you have any questions, please wait 2 to 3 more days to get that in-depth tutorial, which will make a lot of sense. If you are watching this video in future, it might already be on my channel, so please have a look. Now, how would you build this HTTP request? What we need to do is you need to work with body. You also need authorization, which is in your Vapi dashboard. You go to you click on your email address, and there is API keys, and you need to copy your private key. Copy this, and you need to paste that in here, and that will populate this field. I won't be copying it here. If I do, I need to blur the whole thing, which I don't want to do it right now. So let's continue. Assistant ID. This is the assistant that we will be using for the call. To use transient assistant, use assistant instead. So what it's saying is, if we use assistant ID, we are basically using what we have in here. So this is the assistant ID. If you are copying this and using it there, you are just using this static assistant, which I don't want to do that. What we need to do instead is we need to work on this assistant object, and we would build this from scratch. So for transcriber, deepgram transcriber is the standard. So deepgram model Nova 2, and language for me it's English. Smart format. So anytime you have a question regarding whether I should be turning this off, turning this on, click hover on this I info button, or it's not actually a button, but you know, You get the idea. So when you hover on it, it says this will be smart format option provided by DeepGram. It's default disabled because it can sometimes format numbers as times sometimes, but it's getting better. So default is off, disabled, leave it disabled. So you can think of this, you can only go with what is absolutely necessary to achieve the functionality that we are looking for. So that's what I'm going to do now. I won't be concerned with, for example, tool calls. We are not doing any function calls, we are not doing any. So for those I won't be using at all. For example, this model, any scale model, Anthropic, Claude, I'll be using OpenAI for the LLM. Again, hover on this. These are the options for the assistance LLM. So it is really important. For messages, this is talking about the prompt, and this is the role. I'm calling it assistant. For the prompt, I have prepared. This is not something that I would use for the end, for a client or anything. Something that I have built for demo purposes as an assistant for my agency. So I will be using this. Okay, come and see. If you want, you can do a quick screenshot of this for the prompt, but I would definitely recommend you improve this prompt a lot. So I have just copied the prompt and selected the role assistant. Now what else do we need? We need to select the actual model that we are going to use. We are not using tools or tool IDs. That will be covered in the future video. I'll be using model GPT-4o. A fallback model would be, let's say, GPT-4, provider, conical. What is this? A knowledge base. We don't really have a knowledge base for this. And any option that you want to, I am only using that options that are really necessary. For example, the temperature the temperature does affect what you how your model performs. So I'm selecting it 0.3. But knowledge base, if you do want to add a knowledge base, I will show you in the future video. But you can always find a lot of Vapi videos on YouTube, so feel free to explore that. Max tokens, we can, I don't want to include any, because if it's 0 max number of tokens that is will be allowed. Default is 250, so let it be default. That's okay. Emotion recognition enabled. I want this, yes. Number of fast turns, okay. For voice, I really like Level Labs voices. And input processing, pre-processing. So what does it do on default? It depends whether default true. Okay, yeah, I haven't used this before, but looks like it's useful. Okay, input formatting enabled. What is it by default? Default true. Okay, let's turn it on. Okay guys, I won't be doing much. No filler injection, I don't want that. Punctuation, boundaries, no. For providers, 11 labs. For voice ID, I would strongly suggest you go to the front end and pick someone that is really good and copy their ID and paste it here. For me, I like this voice better than what I do with, okay, let's use Sarah for this. Okay, speaker boost, optimize. Okay, you should only be concerned with these required signs. For For example, 11 Labs Sarah is absolutely necessary for you to finish it. For others, you can go by default. For example, recording enabled true, first message mode, assistant speaks first. These are the stuff that is important but not 100% required. They would be using default stuff, but yeah, give everything a read. And for client messages, if you want any, go ahead and do so. Server messages, I really like end of the call reports. That's where you can process a lot of info. You will basically get access to the transcript, and you can do a lot of stuff based on the info that you receive. So I think we pretty much covered most of the stuff. Two more important things that I would do before I finish this whole thing is, the first message is you can have something like, is this first name? The reason I included first name is we will actually in make.com we will remove this first name and use the field that user have answered, the user have provided in the form. So it would be, hey, is this money, or is this John, whatever the case may be. So voicemail detection, Twilio, what is voicemail detection types, machine start maybe. Voicemail detection, I thought it was supposed to be enabled or disabled. For example, they have changed this setting from last I worked with. Voicemail detection, there is enabled or disabled. Instead of object, it was Boolean. I'm not sure they don't really have any other options, and it is a required field. So I will go ahead and select Twilio for now and see if any error comes up. I would just use it. Okay, end call message, I would say thank you. What I have seen happen with the voicemail message, if you have a message, go ahead and do so. If unspecified, it will hang up. Even though it says it will hang up, it did not happen for me. What the AI actually assumed the persona of what we prompted it to do and left a message to user even when I have no voicemail message. So I think it should be good. Okay, server URL. What server URL is referring to? You need to catch the webhook. So you need to create a new scenario, and in webhooks you need to do a custom webhook, create a webhook. For this webhook, I'm calling it Vapi demo webhook, and save. Once I have this, I will copy the address to the clipboard, and I go back to this assistant, and where is that server URL? And my server URL code, I did save it as 12345. But if you want to get yours, you need to go to Vapi, and under API keys, okay, not API keys, under settings, you have the server URL secret. Edit it whatever you want. For mine, I just selected 12345. So okay, now we are at almost at the end. Structured data schema. What is this? Let's enforce the schema. Output is stored in disabled by default. So let me see what happens if I disable if I let it run by default, because I have the reference of what I've been using previously, I don't see all of this. So they have been updating a ton of stuff. We don't have a, okay, I think we are assistant overrides. We're going to a section that is not really needed. Let me find a few more things where we need to add the phone number ID and stuff, and we should be good to go. This is some really long okay, knowledge base. Why are they repeating themselves? Filler injection. I see the overrides, but as this, okay guys, okay, we have squads now. Wow. Okay, this is, I haven't really worked with squads. I did play around with squads on the front end, but not really and this type. Okay, where is the phone number ID? Now there we have it, phone number ID. Where you would find a phone number ID is go to platform, you see the phone numbers, you copy the ID here, and you come back and paste the phone number ID. And fallback destination, I don't think it's needed. For customer, we need to add, okay, customer ID. Now test number test, so that way it would show up in our request, where we will replace this fields from the Google form that we are going to capture. Now what you need to do, this bracket to this bracket here, you copy it and you paste it in the body type raw. And okay, wait, so first you need to the method itself is post in the body type raw, that's right, and the content type application JSON, and this is where you need to paste the whole thing. Okay, paste. Nice. Okay, 9 out of 10 times this is not going to work. Let me add in few more stuff and then we troubleshoot the whole thing. Okay, we need the API key for sure. API, sorry, not the API documentation. Let me close this. Okay, we copied that. Now we need to go to API keys, copy our private key and go back to make.com where you are building your request, and in the headers we have authorization in the name, in the value bearer space your API key, and then you add in another header which is content type. I'm not doing something really anything new here or something that I am adding in on my own. You just need to add that authorization bearer space token, which is your API key, and the other header that you need to use is content type application JSON. And you also need this URL. Copy this URL, and so if you haven't realized yet, this is a post request, right? And this is the data, the raw data that we are using. We are exactly replicating what was already available there. So let's do one thing now. Okay, let me go to the name and say money, and for the number I want to use my actual phone number here, and okay. If the prompt is right, it should work. Run this module only. Okay, error. See what is the error here. Okay, bad escaped character in JSON position. You can do a really long way where you go to a website, you escape all the bad characters, you create new line characters /n. After every double quote you add in some new stuff. There is all kinds of crazy which will take a day or two. So what I like to do in this section is I go to my Claude and basically say, okay, rewrite this code to fix this error. Nothing fancy. If you can do a really good prompt to address this, but I am lazy and I see what the error is. I copy the error and just let Claude do his thing and give me an answer, so I can copy and paste the whole thing. Okay, I know that it's improperly escaped single quotes within JSON, but I don't know how to fix it, and it will take a ton of time. So it should have been fixed. I will just copy the whole thing and go to my HTTP request and select all, paste, and that should probably work. Run this module only, and I am receiving a call right now on Vapi. Okay, so this is actually saying, is this first name? So yes, this is first name.
Hello, thank you for calling AI Growth Creators. My name is Kira. How can I assist you today? Are you interested in learning more about our AI services?
No, thank you. So as you can see, it is working. So how do we capture fields from the Google form into the dynamic assistant? You do that by coming here. The first message, it says, is this first name, right? So you clear this first name and pick, please enter your first name, grade. Oh, okay. Right now it doesn't have any info. What I would like to do in this case is maybe fill in this form, copy, link, copy. Let me open a new. Well, let's see if I can fill the form myself. Yes. Okay, money. For last name, I would say test. Phone number, we need to add, okay, +1. Email address, let's say Instagram, submit. Now our response have been recorded. If we go back and run this module once, we have received the new info that we just entered. Please enter your first name. We have a text answer. In the answer, we have value money. So we need to enter that here. Okay. So is this first name? Where are you? Is this okay? Instead of first name, I go to answers. Please enter your first name, grade, feedback, text answers. Okay, this is empty. I think I need to refresh this somehow. Okay, now is this updated one? And there's no. Let me save this and run it once. Okay, now it should have been updated. Let's see, is this enter your first name, text answers, value, money. So you need to go in, actually pick the value, not the please enter your first name. It would not work. And for the name, I will do the same also. Instead of using first name and first name, what I would do is first name space, I will do last name. You will see why I'm doing that in the next end of the call report. Okay, now for the name, I'm using first name space last name. For the phone number, I will delete these, and the text answers, phone number. Perfect. And I will save this. As the next step, right now, once the form is submitted, we are running this every 15 minutes. I can do 1 minute if it will make things easier, but be mindful of the operations, they will add up soon. So HTTP request, you are placing a phone call. Let me see if we would be able to. Okay, new response is needed to place the phone call. Now let me record the form again. We need another response so that we can run this again. I will call myself money demo this time, and phone number and email address I will leave it. Okay, I would say referral, submit. Your response submitted. Let me test it right now. Run once. Okay, success. I should receive a phone call right now. Okay.
Is this Manny?
Yes, it is.
Hi, Manny. This is Kira from AI Growth Creators. How are you today? I'm here to help you explore our AI services. Could you tell me a bit about what you're interested in or what specific needs you have regarding AI?
Don't know. What do you offer?
No problem, Manny. At AI Growth Creators, we specialize in AI consulting and development. We offer a range of services, including...
Never mind. I don't really want to go into that, but you get the idea. You get a dynamic phone call that A, knows your name, but you can also include any information if you want your AI to remember what their organization name is, you can do so here also. So once we place a call, I want to go to my Airtable. For example, if you look at the lead CRM, you don't see money test, you don't see money demo. This is from my old forms. So I want to link this to create a record. Let's say create a record. I already added a connection. If you don't have a connection, what I would do is click add, and there are two types of connections, Airtable token or key. If you select Airtable token or key, you need to go to personal access tokens. I will link this somewhere, airtable.com/create/tokens. That's where you would see personal access token. You create a new token and add all the scope that you have here. I already did. So that's how you get these connections. I won't be adding a new connection. I will just use mine. Okay, and the base I am using AI agency CRM, and for the table itself I'll be using the leads table. So the lead name, I would be using the first name and last name. So first name space last name, money demo that you see. Status would be I won't add any status for now. I am planning to capture the email, which is money at Kanasani. The phone number would be the phone number, text answers value. Make sure you add the country code or the area code, so it has to be written. So if you or your users do not enter that +1 +91 or whatever, you won't receive a call. So social URL, I didn't enter one. Source, so how did you hear about us is the source. Answers, referral. But for the social URL, let me add an answer. I don't think we would have a text answer, so let's skip it for now, but make sure you add that as well in the future ones. Okay, let's run this once. I don't think we can use the existing data, too bad. Let's see, let's try a different response one last time and we can get to the end of the call report. So first name, demo, money, I will select Instagram and example.com so I can link the field, capture the field. So we have it. Go back to make, run once. Okay, now we have an error. What error is that? Customer number must be, yes, this is what I was talking about. I think I did not add a +1. What you can do, if you know for sure that your customers are from United States, you can enter +1 in the HTTP request itself so that they can enter their 10-digit mobile number and it works. If your customers or the people that are going to try this demo are from different country, you need to let them add their country code, not you. So let me redo this. Submit. Okay, let's go back one last time, run it. What the? Customer number must be a valid phone number. Hot tip, you may be missing country code. But I did enter a country code, did I not? It should have worked. Why is it causing issues? Let me run this module only and see. Text answers, I would say demo and last name money. I would say +1 778 288 by this. It worked. I received a phone call just now. I'm not going to answer that. Let me go to Google Forms real quick. So in the responses, I will delete all the responses for now so that I can submit a new one again. If we run this now, it should not run at all because we don't have any responses right now. Let me submit a genuine request with my actual name and stuff. Kanasani, we should still distinguish it from the old ones in terms of email so that we can tell money@test.com. I would say Instagram example.com. Submit. Now let me go back to make and run it. It has worked. So what essentially happening previously was it was still using the old data that I processed, so it's trying again and again. To combat this, you can add in error handlers in place. That's what we did with our clients' projects. Error handling is a beast in and of itself. So if error persists, you do this, you try this module 3 times in a span of 15 minutes, all that stuff. You can add in a lot of error handlers. I mean, there are 2, 3, up to 5, but 2, 3 main ones. You can find videos if you are interested, but what I wanted to show you is it should be updated on our lead list. Okay, money Kanasani, money at test, and you see the number. Now the second part of the flow is actually capturing what happened here, and we will add the recording URL, summary, and the transcript of the whole conversation. So for that, remember how we did a webhook previously? We will hit OK and we will add a module, and we call so now essentially we have the conversation that our AI had with the customer, right? We now need to, what I usually did with my client, we were using that info from the transcript, and we were using a lot of AI assistant to generate some really cool stuff and populate the Airtable, and then send reports as Google Drive, saving the reports on Google Drive and sending them on Gmail. So we need to, once our call is done, our end of the call report will be sent to this webhook, is being caught by this webhook. In Airtable, we need to first search the record and find the right one for this. So in our AI agency CRM, we go to table leads, and we need to find the lead name, which is the name that has in the customer field. We have money Kanasani or money demo. So we need to search that using a formula, and the formula would be, so it is the lead name, right? You have these braces, lead name equals to, and you have quotations, and in the webhook you see this customer field and you select the name. So this is the formula that we need to use, and we need to return only one. So that way the latest record with this name will be updated. If we are doing this in a CRM, it would be a much better experience. We will actually integrate this with Go High Level in the tutorial video that I'm going to do in 2 days. So make sure you watch it if you want to update this in your CRM, not here. So we will now update the Airtable, which is update a record, and the ID would be the base ID is, the record ID would be captured from the previous module here. Record ID, okay, from search records, and the lead name we have it, the status would be tried demo to say that they have tried our demo. I will do this, and for a recording URL, we have, okay, not stereo recording URL, it's recording URL. And for the summary in the message, no, not the message, you have the summary here, you have the transcript here, and hit OK. It should be working now. Let me run this once, and now we have to test it one last time to see how it worked. For the sake of to differentiate my previous response, I will use money test. I will say example.com. Okay, I will skip the URL, submit. So I should receive a call real soon. I will actually force it to do it now. It should. And now I will answer the call. Okay.
Is this Mani?
Yes, it is.
Hi, Manny. This is Kyra from AI Growth Creators. How are you today? I'm here to help you explore our AI services. What specifically interests you about AI, or is there a particular area you're curious about?
Yes, I would love to learn about voice assistants.
That's great to hear, Manny. Voice assistants are a fantastic way to enhance customer interactions and streamline various processes.
Okay, bye now.
At AI Growth Creator. Thank you.
So now I have ended the call, so that should trigger the end of the call report, which it did, and it should have updated the Airtable. So let's go back to the lead CRM, and you can see the money test and recording URL, the summary, and the transcript. You can see the whole thing. If you click on this, you can actually listen to the conversation. You can download it. What I love to do with these clips is you can actually go into for example, like a Canva or something. You can create a bot images or AI. Heijen is a wonderful tool to try this also. And if you go to stuff like this is veed.io, veed.io, and you can have waveforms like Siri or different waveforms that are actually moving based on the voice. For example, the volume of Vapi goes up, it goes up. So these waveforms are actually synced, and you can make these posts, really cool posts on LinkedIn to attract attention. So that's basically it for the demo part. You have two really good flows here. One is a form being submitted on Google form, or this can be a go high level form, this can be a type form, whichever form you choose. And once the form is submitted, we are placing a call, a dynamic Vapi dynamic assistant will call them, and creating a record on the Airtable in our lead CRM. And the second part, once the call is done, we are capturing the webhook, the transcript, recording URL, and summary. So in between this, you can have AI assistants that actually figures out what AI service they would be interested in and tag them in the status. Like if we look at the status update we have here, it says tried demo, but we can just as easily update interested in products or service, because if you look at transcript here, it says I would love to learn more about voice assistants. So you can have an AI to process that and this interested field is populated with, okay, what are they interested in, and based off of those tags we can set up automations on make.com to certain kind of emails go out. So that concludes our Vapi dynamic assistant part. This is a great product in and of itself. That I actually delivered a version of this for my clients integrated with Go High Level, but this is a great start for demo to try out with your prospective clients. So that's for the Vapi part. And now that you have a Vapi and you have my chatbot templates, you can go ahead and start executing this plan as soon as possible. First, I would start off with at least 50 people that are in your contact list. Actually go through the whole list and see who are all the people that you can reach out to and say this message. For example, this is a variation of something that I have used to get my first client, someone who that I know from previous work. Hey, how are you doing? I got some exciting news to share. I wanted you to be one of the first to know. Remember all those times I talk about my passion for AI? Well, I've finally taken the plunge and started my own AI agency. You know me, when I set my mind on something, there's no stopping me. I have been in AI for 6 years now. So I have been doing presentations from 2018. I have published papers in 2019, been in AI for a while now. So here is where it gets interesting and where I could use your help. I'm looking for a few smart people to try out our prototype and share their thoughts. And I immediately thought of you. If you're up for it, I'd love for you to give it a spin. Your feedback would be incredibly valuable as we fine-tune our services. See how we are not selling it? We are basically asking for feedback. This can just as easily be, do you know someone who can benefit from this? And we also say, I'm looking for few smart people to try out prototype. We are essentially saying, if you don't try this, you're not so smart. Share the link with smart people. This second message, if you know, this is, you don't say this. This is internal kind of instruction, so don't say it. And if you know anyone else who might benefit from what we are building, I'd be super grateful if you pass along this to them too. Again, use a variation of this. If every person start using that lines, it gets really old really quickly. So always when you are reaching out to someone, always add in your own language, your own vocabulary, to make it more personable. It shouldn't be something that you see online or copy online. This has worked for me. I have at least 10 to 15 people that wanted to give me feedback on my chatbots, on my automations, and they actually referred some of their friends. So it's a wonderful strategy if you have done right. Let me talk about some of the obstacles that would come up. Some of these are really related. For example, we might not have testimonials, you don't have experience, and you don't have enough money. And all of these can be addressed with a similar positive things also. There is a lot of free trials available. For example, Vapi, the charge would be anywhere from 15 cents a minute to 22 cents a minute, and they will give you $10 free when you sign up. So it's Airtable lets you create a database with 1000 records for free. At the end of the day, it's only your mindset and your excuses that is stopping you, and Make gives you 1000 operations each month that you can use for free, and Voiceflow offers 14-day free trial on their pro plan, and even after 14 days you can still use 100,000 tokens, which is really generous if you are building a demo chatbot. So at the end of the day, like I said, it's the mindset, not the money, that's holding you back. You can always find free apps that are even close to free and free trials for your demos. And self-doubt is a huge one, and you being not technical, you can overcome this by learning a lot. There are a ton of YouTube tutorials that you can learn from, and this is one of the websites that I would recommend. I would go find short courses, beginner, and if you are interested in OpenAI, prompt engineering, building systems, or LangChain is a really important one that you can learn all the LLMs, all the most of the chatbots or voice assistants that we build. LangChain is the backbone, so you can learn these basics if you are struggling with that self-doubt or not knowing what you would provide your clients in an AI audit or an AI consult. And templates are a huge thing. That there is a reason why I started this tutorial or this video with a technical walkthrough, because I want to give you something that's so close to what we did for real clients, so it helps you get those recordings. You can not only demo that in a video, you can actually show people when AI addresses them with their first name and all of that stuff. It is priceless. It will help a lot in selling them on that free call. And I wanted to share few more issues that I have struggled with. For example, people would not show up for my calls. You need to understand it is the part of the process, but if you nurture them with AI, for example, you saw how we built a dynamic Vapi assistant. You can also build a dynamic assistant that calls your registrants or your prospective client 1 hour before the meeting and make sure, okay, we are looking forward to getting you on this call. For any reason, do you think you won't be making the call? They say, no, I will attend. So you can nurture them with emails and voice assistant. We can leverage AI for that. And when we implemented this, it has been a game changer. And people, at least 2 to 3 people, when I actually started working, did not pay me. I mean, I was building them demos, I was building them a free trial that they can use 14 days and they would ghost me. So then I changed my pricing to always charge 50% upfront. This may not apply for your first time, because you should be with a mindset, I'm okay with getting a testimonial, not money. If you are getting paid to learn, then that's a great deal. But I still believe that you should charge for your work. If you have access to write templates, if you are solving a problem, I would charge at least 50% off. Let's say your AI assistant is worth $5,000. You give them 50% off, which you charge them $2,500, and off of that $2,500 you would charge them $1,200 upfront and $1,200 or $300 when the work is actually complete and the project is delivered, once they're happy with it. If for any reason you don't deliver on what you promised and the client is unhappy, you return the money. 100%, no questions asked, money back guarantee. That's how I seen it work, especially for the first client. You don't have to offer refunds once you start working with 1-2 people, once you have that testimonial, once you have that confidence. And too many rejections, I see that over and over in my weekly calls or people I consult with. I just want to give you this example. Sales is a numbers game. I love this quote. I believe it's from Alex Hormozy, at least that's where I heard it from. He says volume negates luck. So as many people that you need to be so busy, so productive with people that you're reaching out to, there is no time to feel sad about it. I was watching this video a couple of months ago where this guy is standing in New York Times Square or something. He was literally giving away gold-plated cards or something, which are worth over $1,000. This is for free. This is for free. He was trying to give away gold bars, and people were rejecting him. And he then goes to say, see, people are rejecting literal gold money, thousands of dollars. They're saying it no. I mean, what you have is gold. You have to build that mindset. People are rejecting gold, literally. And there is no reason someone has to do business with you. It's not about you and what you can do. It's about them, not about you. If you realize that, whenever I got on a sales call and it did not go as I planned, I used to feel so sad. Why did they reject this? Or it makes perfect sense. Why didn't they show up? Why waste my time, waste their time? This is a no-brainer. AI is here to stay. It makes sense for us, but it is not as easy. For that reason, I strongly suggest you work on your sales skills also. If you look at this Alex Hormozy's new video that came out 2 days ago, it is a wonderful training that is for almost 5 hours long, and I watched about half of it. It is, if I had this video before I started my agency journey, I would have closed way more sales than I already did. And that is coming from, I struggled a lot to close a one sale that is $1,000. But last month, I actually managed to close a $132,000 deal with 20% profit shares. So this 1 year has taught me a lot, and this video is the best so far. And learn prompt engineering for sure. Deep learning AI has a prompt engineering course, and there are other well-known prompt engineering courses that you can learn a lot from. And Make Academy is also a great resource if you want to get started on automations, build your own, how error handling works, how API calls with HTTP modules work, all of that fun stuff. It is really, really great. I strongly recommend you check make.com as well. How do we get leads is one of the biggest questions I get, because they have seen Instagram DMs, they have seen LinkedIn DMs. Nothing seems to work. You have to find people that are really interested in what you have to sell. So for that reason, I managed to find 2 apps. One is a good old LinkedIn Sales Navigator. What you do in Sales Navigator is you can start a new search where, for example, if you are searching for a CEO and if you want a head count of 1 to 10 people, so let's say they are a small business owner, and for for industry, let's pick real estate. And if you are in the area of, let's say, for me it's Vancouver, Canada, but you can if it's a New York City, let's say I've selected New York. Right now I have about over 2500 results. If let's go one level deeper, and it says second degree connections. So now the results went from 2000 to 208. Now I can get the list of these CEOs and save the results. There are two ways to go about it. For InMails, you get 50 InMails when you sign up for a trial on a LinkedIn Sales Navigator. But those 50 InMails, you don't have to use everything on one day. You don't want to blow it. Great thing about InMails is whenever someone responds to your InMail, so it would be credited back to your 50. Let's say I sent out 10 InMails today and 5 of them got back, answered my request. Only 5 InMails are used. I still have 45. You know what I mean? So when someone gets back to me, their InMail is not used. And there are something called open profiles. You see how they have these premium icons in the back. If we open some of this, they might be open profiles. For open profiles, what we can do is we can send InMails for free. They are not they won't count towards the 15 mails, and even if they got back to you or not, doesn't matter. It doesn't charge. That's one way to go about it. At least that's what I did in my this 100 chatbot outreach, where I tried to reach out to 100 people, build them custom chatbots, which was I say not hugely successful. I would have done things a lot differently. So I covered the exact same thing on Sales Navigator in that video also. So what have I learned in this 1 year? I found a tool called Taplio. If you go to Taplio, what it does is they have some really cool features. You can start for free for 7 days or something, but after that you need to get a paid plan. You can schedule posts, you can automate engagement, outreach and stuff. But what I really love about Taplio is their engage feature. What it lets you do is, for example, not even for engage, you can have lists of people that you can create a contact list of people that are really well known in the industry and comment on their posts so that you grow faster. That's one. You want to do this long term. So for contacts, what we can do is you can import people, add people in one of 3 ways. You can add one specific account, or we can import the people that we have searched from the LinkedIn Sales Navigator and create a list. That's one way. And this is my most favorite one. You can import people from a specific post. For example, I am on LinkedIn, let's say. So one great feature about this is, let's say you find this really cool post by an AI influencer and they have about 81 comments. What I would do then is I will copy this post. Let's say I will copy link to post and I will go back to Tablio. I will paste it and replies. So what this does is all the people that have commented will be imported into my CRM basically, and I can then go in and check who from this list have their emails, and I will one reach out via InMail. That's one channel, and I will also email them using my leads CRM. The reason for that is now we have established that these people are really interested in AI. That's one. And two, now we know for sure they have. And two, when we are doing this multi-channel outreach as email and LinkedIn, if your name shows up again and again, people are more likely to pay attention. So if you can maybe like their posts, interact somehow, that would be beneficial also. So as you can see, it takes a bit of time. I've imported all the people that have commented on this. So I would then take this, sort them via find their email and their LinkedIn URL, and this you can export it to CSV. I won't wait till everything is done. As you can see, there is an option here, export CSV. Once we export this, we go to our agency CRM, and I will upload this here, and the magic happens in the CRM. The reason I say that, if you are to manually go in and send emails or these messages to each person one at a time, that will take forever. I have actually created something called first email upload me to make. If you have something like this, for example, let me go back to my scenarios, create new scenario. Okay, first email is already available in this. So what this does is, if you want to import, you just need to click here, import blueprint, and select the one that you just downloaded. So when the Airtable, if you want to copy this, you can. The first Airtable that we select is watch records, the trigger field, and the base is AI agency CRM, and the table is leads, and the trigger field is last modified. So whenever we modify something on the CRM, it will trigger the field. It will be basically a trigger. So the label field is status, and we return 10 results at a time, although we need only one. So I also added in a filter where it only runs when, okay, right now the main trigger is any kind of modification, whether that's status, that's recording URL, all of that stuff. Anytime it's modified, it is triggered to run. But we will now add a filter where it will check the status, and if the status contains case insensitive cold, specifically it was when I say, okay, this is for example new cold, this is the only one that has new cold, right? What happens now is, if you go back, we have cold lead, right? Case insensitive, it contains this, so it should run. And when it runs, what happens is, I will send out an email. The email is the email field that I have captured. I hope it is a right address. And subject, you need to insert awesome subject here, HTML tags plus content. What do I mean by this? Basically, the content that we paste here in make.com has to be inside HTML tags. So this is how you add in HTML tags. So in the subject line as well, you can say, for example, lead names, converse AI, whatever you want to call it, but it should be it's better idea to enter your own email also in the receiving field, so that you know, okay, what does the actual email says. But if you want it to go out as soon as the call is done, that's really the best experience. Most of the time I test it 3 to 4 times. If it is producing a good enough response, I will go ahead and do that. And it also, from cold, I will then update the lead from cold to first message, and that's how I was able to code the emails that I have. Cold email is great once you have testimonials, but till then I believe it's really important that you have a system like this, where you have a series of emails. First email would be, look, I have this really cool thing, and once they respond, I will go ahead and send the link for them to demo. But if they did not, the next email would be, okay, how about saving you time? I am just conveying the idea, but the email itself would be focused on, okay, our onboarding automation is saving 1 hour that each client that you onboard, or our chatbot is saving your sales manager or any manager or C-suite executives 20 hours a month. So their time is really valuable. So you need to position your solutions in terms of how much time they can save. That's the second email that I would send out. And third email, how about saving you money? Okay, we are saving 70% customer service efforts. Again, KPI changes, and I will try to get them on this call. So based off of that, you can frame your own messages, but use automations all the way. For Taplio, there are ways where you can automate some other stuff. For example, on Zapier, if you look at Zapier and Taplio, if you are experienced, you can basically set up actions where someone interacts with your post. If engagement is received, you can trigger a different action based off of that. So everyone that interacts with your voice agent, let's say, can be saved as a list, or it can trigger another automation or send data to Airtable. I haven't really explored those areas just yet, but it's a fun exercise to try. So let me show you how that works in real time, so that it works. It's not just theory. Let's say I have this email going. Okay, it says cold. It is the only one that has cold, right? So now we will go ahead and run this email. Let's save it and run once, see what happens. Okay, what does it say? Maybe it has already run using the same. Let me go back, and maybe the modified time, I haven't modified it. That's what is causing the issue. What I can do is maybe add in a URL, DTP or whatever. So now if you look at this, the modified time is updated right now. What that essentially does is you can now run it, and it should do the whole thing. Okay, email. I should have received email. As you can see, I'm not sure if you can see, but I received an email just now, and it says, "Hey Mani Kanasani, thanks for trying out voice assistant." We can actually go to Google. It doesn't have to be on my phone. If I go to my inbox right now, I say, "Hey Mani Kanasani, thanks for trying out voice assistant. Here is a summary of our conversation." This is because I didn't have any summary. This is an old record, but if they do have summary, it would show up here. Now what happens, you see how it was previously, it said cold, but now it's a first message sent. What happens now is when I say second email here, second email, it is once more we have changed the modified time. I will now go ahead and repurpose this to create the second email one. So let me go back to my scenarios and create a new one, or we can repurpose the old one that we already have. For example, import blueprint, and I will use the first email one, save. We are watching the records, the same base, the same last modified. Instead of 10, we are looking for 1. And for the status, let's say instead of cold, you need to check for second. So when you set up this filter, you need to check for what is the tag that we have placed here, second email. So we need to find something, we need to enter that second email here. So okay, now when the status reads second email, we will send a Gmail. What would that be? It says insert awesome subject here, HTML tags plus content. And once we do that, we update the record from first message sent to second message sent. Perfect. Now let me test it, because we have updated it. Let me update it again. Now that we changed it, it needs to be okay, DTP23 something. Now it's modified again. Now when I run this second email flow, second email, save it, run it, it should, whoa, why is that second email? Okay, what am I watching for? Last modified. Okay, since we are only returning 1, I think that's what causing the issue. I changed it to 10, which was previously. Let me see. Nice. We have received an email. Insert awesome subject here. Perfect. It's working fine. You just need to return more results for this to work. Okay. We have second email flow here. So what you can do, I believe this has given you an idea as to what you can select here. Second message sent. If you say interested, a different set of emails should go out and update it in a different way. So you can create all kinds of automations. If you want a follow-up on this, on how to update this interested products, comment down below, because it's so easy to create these automations. It just have to be, we are adding in more stuff at this point. We can have an AI in the Vapi that I showed you, Vapi Dynamic Part 2, which I have already posted in my new school group. This is a new school group, by the way. It is launching on August 5th, and first 52 members will pay $52. People are already joining, as you can see, but it is currently empty, so might as well wait till August 5th. But when this video goes live, you can basically download or get access to all this stuff, lead CRM, Vapi dynamic that we just built, the Vapi prompt, the first email, second email, and all of that stuff, the process map itself. For example, this is really important, guys, in my opinion at least. Now that you know how powerful this lead CRM is, how to automate some of this stuff, whether that's sending the first email, second email, you don't even really need my templates. You can build this on your own. You don't have to join school at all, because this is the only stuff that we are working on so far. The lead name, the status, email, phone, source, just this stuff is so easy to create. It's just it's exactly same as using Google Sheets. You just create a field, you edit the field, and edit field, or if you want to insert new fields, insert right, insert left. And for the transcript, for the fields like phone and email, you can pick edit field, and there is a phone number field. And for transcripts, you select long text. For statuses, you either select single, you need to pick single select. For interested products, etc., sales activities, I would pick multi-select. So it's pretty intuitive. You can pretty much get all of this, and you can create a products and services. You can link it to the leads. If you want everything done for you, you can basically get access to those. But it's, like I said, it's not really mandatory. Only thing that you need is a lead CRM, where you should be able to click on statuses, and email should be going out in the back end, because you are doing a ton of stuff to get that first client, which is what we have been discussing so far. Whether that's using Taplio or Sales Navigator, both of them has free trials, by the way. And once you start doing that and reaching out to at least 50 people each day and following with 50 people every day, that's 300 people properly followed up. And these people are not just random people. They have to be your ICP, your ideal customer profiles, and they have to be interested in AI in some way. And if you ask me, these are the priorities. You build a prototype, whether that's Chatbot like I showed in my Voiceflow video, it can be Vapi dynamic assistant that we built. You need some kind of lead CRM. It can be Google Sheets, or it can be I love Airtable, so I would recommend that. Nurture with AI. You need to have follow-up sequences and Vapi assistants calling them before the calls, so that you can nurture them by showcasing what you have. Numbers game, gold bar example. People will reject you, that's for sure. People don't show up. People will ghost you. People might not pay you. So to mitigate most of that, I recommend be familiar with $100 million offers. The reason I have it is you don't need to be making these grandiose offers that you may not be able to fulfill, because I have seen people promise the world but they cannot deliver 30% of it. That has been almost like a norm in the AI agency field. So for that reason, I always strive to under promise and over deliver. Give them an extra project or extra deliverable for free as a bonus, so that at least change starts with us. So be mindful as to what you're offering, because it can come back to bite you in the ass. So contracts, I will have some contracts in my school group, but it's easy to prepare upon. So you need to have some kind of contracts in place so that it can protect you. I mean, chances are you taking them to court is 0%, but a contract is like a agreement between two people most people don't want to break. And have a payment process ready. Let's say a client wants to book a call, wants to pay, you need to have a way to process it. I believe this is the most important step that most people don't really be concerned about till the last point. We have to be professional. I use Stripe, you can use PayPal also. Onboarding, have steps ready on how you would onboard someone. Okay, what is the communication channel you are setting up, what you are going to use for file transfer, whether that's Google Drive or Dropbox. You need to have all the onboarding steps in place so that it's easy to know what the next steps are. The communication channels, journey flow is all about what is the client's journey. Once you sell them, okay, are you going to upsell them? How long are you going to take to fulfill the client, and what are all the services or the people that you would need from them? So what is the first meeting is going to look like? Are you going to set up the onboarding during a live call? Are you signing up for a tech stack? When are you going to work on prompts? So all of this stuff need to be really thought out and paid attention to. And I have some principles here. For example, templates is when value is clear, decisions are easy, first impressions matter. And when you have really good templates and really good work that you already did, you would be seen as a subject matter expert, and that is really helpful in the field. Lead CRM is what gets measured gets accomplished. You can really see how many people have you reached out, how many people are getting back to you. Okay, what is the change in strategy that is needed? Do I need to target a different niche, or am I doing it wrong? Is my email bad? So you get to see once you start tracking this stuff, and it's money's in the follow-up, right? So nurture with AI, always leverage technology, since you need to be your own. We are in the forefront of this AI revolution, so essentially you should be the one that's using AI for nurturing, for onboarding, for social media, so that you set example for your clients. And if you can start posting videos on YouTube, although you are doing stuff on LinkedIn, I really believe you should start creating content, not for views, but to give you confidence. And if someone says, how do you do this? You can just share a link of your video. Then that is proof that you know what you're talking about. You have built this stuff, and it's priceless to have. And obstacles, be ready to this getting over rejection is, sales is a numbers game, definitely. No time to worry is be so busy. You have your pipeline should be so full that you don't have time to worry about it when someone rejects you, or when a client goes you, or anything of that sort. Volume negates luck. The more you do this, more luckier you get. And I believe if you do this for 300 members, for sure you would get a client in 7 days. And please let me know how that goes, and learn from everything. You will never fail if you are learning from mistakes. That was a quote from Steve Jobs. So whatever you do, you will either win or it's a lesson and you will learn from it. That concludes my video today. But if you want to learn how to onboard a client, how to upsell them, I made a video recently, last week, on how I closed a $132,000 deal for my AI agency. Watch that next.